Thanks for dropping in. This week I'm launching You Asked For It, a series all about updating older projects based off your requests and feedback. For this first installment, I'm kicking things off with 9 updates. Why only 9 updates and not 10? Because that way you know I didn't pad the list with fake items. So let's get to it. Number 1, Super Toggly Fidget Button, half click. The Super Toggly Fidget Button remains one of my most popular designs. It uses a triangular rotating cam to toggle between 2 click states, but a lot of people requested a half click position. It took a couple tries, but I created a replacement to the flat spring that'll do just that. When you click normally, the button will still toggle back and forth. But if you click slowly, the rotating cam will catch a small indent in the spring, leaving both sides only half activated. Like that. This alternate spring comes with an accidental bonus. If you install the spring upside down, it'll add more pressure to the buttons, which gives you a much stronger click. Number 2, Super Toggly Fidget Button, stronger post. The second update is also for the Super Toggly Fidget Button. For easier assembly, I made the central post that holds the rotating cam part of the back case. While this did save you from printing a separate part, the post isn't printed in the strongest possible orientation. In some cases, depending on your print settings or filament, this post could even snap. If this was a problem for you, try this remix design, which prints the post separately. The central post even has a flat side, to make sure it has good adhesion to the print bed. While I was updating the case anyway, I gave it a more streamlined look. The post can no longer be seen through holes in the front and back case. Number 3, Customizable Brick Block Box, more options. This update is a little old, but now is as good a time as any to announce it. The brick block box is now even more customizable than ever before. Using OpenSCAD, you can now generate your own Mario-inspired brick blocks with both classic and more modern Mario brick layouts. You can even toggle on and off an edge chamfer to give it a more rounded look. Using these generated blocks, you can make faces, pencil holders, containers, refrigerator magnets, or just about anything that's Mario block shaped. Number 4, Twist Lock Trick Box, simpler cap. The Twist Lock Trick Box is a small container with a secret latching mechanism. The cap uses these 3 latches to clamp down on the base. It also has 3 fake latches, just to add some visual flair. But for those who don't want those fake latches, I've added a new simpler cap to the project. This cap only has the holes necessary for the real latches. Number 5, Twist Lock Trick Box, Press-On Latches. If you look closely, you may have noticed something else new with this print. The hooks for these latches are a little bit shorter than the original design. They're specifically shaped so you can push the lid back on, just by pressing it onto the base. This does mean that the latches are going to have a slightly weaker grip on the base, but it doesn't seem to hurt the design at all. Number 6, Twist Lock Trick Box, better spring. The Twist Lock Trick Box is getting a lot of attention this week. I'm also updating the spring that drives the rack and pinion mechanism. It's a little tricky to see, but I've added a 0.5mm lip all around the edge of the spring. This keeps it a little bit elevated from the mechanism and stops it from catching. I couldn't think of a single drawback with this update. So this new spring will replace the old spring file on Thingiverse. If you've downloaded this project after August 30th, you're already using the better version. Number 7, Giant Rolling Storage Box, more gianter than ever. This is the Giant Rolling Storage Box. And this is its central core. Despite its assembled size, every individual part of this design can be printed on a medium-sized printer. Anything with a build plate that's at least 210 by 210 millimeters. But what if you have a large printer and want to print an even bigger version? This is the central core for the even gianter rolling storage box. It's sized to print on a 300mm square build plate, with a little room to spare. Let's compare the bins. As you can see, the end result is much longer than the original size. While I was at it, I added a few more supporting struts, as well as extra holes for magnets, and additional spots where you can add latches. At the time of recording this video, I haven't actually finished all the pieces to this project yet. That's going to take me at least another week. But I've printed and test fit enough parts to post it. The Thingiverse will get some updated photos once I do finish this behemoth. Regardless of which size you decide to print, be prepared to use several kilograms of filament to get this project done. Number 8. Super Clicky Fidget Button. Larger clearances. The next update is to the Super Clicky Fidget Button. I spent a lot of time tweaking this design to work well on my printers. But clearances and mechanical parts are tricky when it comes to 3D printers. What works with my printer and my filament and my settings may not work for yours. To account for that variation, I've released a remix that doubles the spacing between all the moving parts in the model. I can't really say for sure which version of the model will work best for you. For my printers, the extra clearance actually makes the button feel a little bit too loose. And I had to put a little work into the print after it was done to get it to click reliably. If you found that the old clearances were so tight that the parts barely fit, this remix may be just the solution for you. If you haven't printed either version yet, I'd still recommend trying the original first. That's worked best for most people, even if they've needed to wax, sand, or tweak the print at the end. If you're still having trouble getting a reliable click, the most common solution I'm seeing is just to keep on working the button until it smooths out any rough spots. Personally, I think adding a bolt to the rotating cam to keep the spring perfectly vertical is also extremely helpful. Number 9. Super Clicky Fidget Button. Standard cap threads. Earlier this summer, I posted how I model and 3D print threads, and how I was going to improve that process in the future with standard thread clearances. Any threads I modeled would match a series of test bolt and nut prints. If a particular bolt and nut print worked well with your printer and settings, that same thread should work well on my other designs. Well, the threads for the caps on the Super Clicky Fidget Button have been updated to match that standard. The cap comes in 3 clearances: tight, which is equivalent of a Type C test bolt; default, the same as a Type D test bolt; and loose, which matches the clearances of a Type E bolt. These caps completely replace the old cap models, which seem to be too tight for the majority of people. Alright, I'm out of updates, for now. What do you think of this new series? Do you have any requests for improvements or fixes that I didn't cover in this first installment? If so, let me know in the comments. If it's something I think I can fix, you may see it in a future You Asked For It video. Until next week, thanks for stopping by. Number 10. Desk Clearing Mechanism. Initial Test. It works.